What's happening, guys, and welcome to another video. Over the past 6 months we've seen 30 different people hold the 24/7 title over a combined 66 reigns, and while some of these reigns have been both entertaining and hilarious, some others have fell totally flat. So don't forget to stun on that subscribe button as we count down the 10 worst WWE 24/7 champions so far. So let's get it started with number 10, Michael Giazio. Giazio won the title at a WWE Employee Town Hall event, and the reason this one makes the list is because it has got to be by far the goofiest of all the 24/7 title changes so far, after R-Truth ran into a wall, knocking himself out, before WWE employee Michael Giazio took advantage and pinned an unconscious R-Truth to become WWE 24/7 champion. And if you don't know who he is, I don't blame you. It turns out Michael Giazio is the WWE's Senior Accountant Manager of Global Sales and Partnerships. And he even got a shout out from Triple H on Twitter after winning the belt, saying, "I've always said WWE's greatest asset is our talent, in-ring production and the other various departments at HQ." At today's town hall, Mike made history as the first employee to hold the 24/7 championship and get #the point. Coming in at number 9, Kyle Busch. Now when we look back at the history of the 24/7 title, this one may very well be the point where we say that the belt had jumped the shark, as the NASCAR champion rolled up R-Truth to win the belt, to a totally dead crowd reaction. To be honest, I'm not too sure many people in the crowd even knew who he was. However, it turns out that later on that very same night, R-Truth would regain the title by rolling up Kyle Busch backstage. Coming in at number 8, Marshmello. Marshmello, yet another example of the WWE trying to put the title on a more mainstream name to attract more attention to the company. Marshmello won the title backstage when he accidentally stumbled onto the champion at the time, Carmella. Later that night, Carmella would end up rolling up Marshmello backstage to regain the title, while R-Truth distracted him by wearing the Marshmallow helmet himself. Coming in at number 7, Rob Stone. Yet another example of WWE putting the title on a mainstream television personality, this time Fox Sports host Rob Stone. This one was another goofy one where Rob Stone would defeat R-Truth for the championship. After R-Truth tripped over his own feet, Stone would then hold on to the title for a grand total of about 10 seconds before getting rolled up by Elias. This one, again, another totally goofy title switch. Coming in at number 6, Maria Kanellis. Now we've finally got to an active WWE superstar, and the reason this one makes the list is because Maria at the time was involved in by far the worst storyline on the show, very similar to the current storyline going on with Bobby Lashley, Rusev and Lana. And not only was Maria involved in the worst storyline at the time, but she was also pregnant. But even though this was bad, it still was not quite as bad as number 5, Mike Kanellis. That's right guys, Mike Kanellis makes the list essentially for the exact same reason Maria Kanellis makes the list. Only this time it's even worse because Mike Kanellis has so much potential to be so much more in WWE than what he is being booked as. He had a great run in Ring of Honor and a great run on the independents before entering WWE, but ever since signing with the company he has been nothing more than a comedy act. And I know he recently asked for his release, but I do not think he will be getting it because he did recently sign a long-term contract. It is a real shame to see how he's been getting booked. Coming in at number 4, Gerald Brisco. And the reason this one makes the list is because the title switch didn't even take place on camera. Jerry Brisco defeated his old pal Pat Patterson for the belt, and although we didn't see the switch itself, we see Jerry walking off, celebrating, holding up the title, before seeing Kelly backstage getting a low blow and losing the belt only about 10 seconds after winning it. Coming in at number 3 we have Tamina. Now the reason Tamina makes the list here is because she has to be by far my least favourite wrestler of all time. From her entrance to her ring gear to her promos to her in-ring work, she has to be by far one of the most boring wrestlers of all time. Now I don't know if this is Tamina's fault herself or it's the way she's getting booked, but yeah, surely there must be a better spot for Tamina in the WWE. She could maybe even play the character of a bodyguard of some sorts, I don't know. What do you think Tamina could do well in WWE? Let me know in the comments. Coming in at number 2 is Jinder Mahal. Now the reason Jinder Mahal makes the list here is because much like Mike Kanellis, he's got a lot more potential than to be just a comedy act at the bottom of the card. I mean, after all, he is a former WWE champion, and I know a lot of people weren't a big fan of his initial title run. However, he is very good on the mic, he is much improved in the ring, he's obviously got a great look. I think he deserves a lot more than to be booked as a simple comedy act. And coming in at number 1 is EC3. Again, much like Jinder Mahal and Mike Kanellis, EC3 has got so much more potential, and as an insult to injury, even though EC3 has had 4 separate reigns as 24/7 champion, he's failed to even hold on to that title for more than a day, even when you combine all 4 of his reigns together. So that was them guys, the 10 worst WWE 24/7 champions of all time. Did I miss anyone out on the list? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.